Okay, in this video we're going to look at some of the more infamous cavalry charges from history. In this video we're going to look at some of the more strangest cavalry charges. Cavalry charges with their thunderous hooves and brave riders have often etched indelible marks on the annals of military history, from the legendary feats of Alexander the Great to the valiant charges of knights in shining armour. These bold manoeuvres have often turned the tide of battles and inspired awe and admiration for centuries. Yet amidst the glory and valour, history often records some of the most peculiar and unexpected cavalry charges. So in this video, let's sort of unveil and have a look at some of the history's strangest cavalry charges where circumstances and outcomes defy conventional exceptions. Now, the first one we're going to look at is commonly known as the Charge of the Light Brigade in 1854. Now, it is probably one of the most infamous cavalry charges in history. The Charge of the Light Brigade during the Crimean War remains a testament to miscommunication and tragic valour. On October the 25th in 1854, the British Light Cavalry, under the command of Lord Cardigan, charged headlong into the infamous Valley of Death during the Battle of Balaclava. Basically, it was misrepresented orders that sent the Light Brigade charging straight into the teeth of the Russian artillery, resulting in devastating casualties. Despite facing overwhelming odds and suffering heavy losses, the Light Brigade's reckless bravery was immortalised in that charge, and it was done so in poetry and legend, it symbolised the futility and heroism of war. The next one we're going to look at is the Camel Corps charge at the Battle of Abu Klea in 1885. It was in an era that was dominated by horses and infantry. The sight of camels charging into battle may seem surreal to many. During the Battle of Abu Klea in the Sudanese Mahdist War, British forces deployed the Camel Corps in a daring charge against Mahdist warriors. Now, it was led by General Herbert Stewart. The Camel Corps surged forward, their unusual mounts trampling the enemy underfoot. The sight of camels adorned with bayonets and charging into battle caught the Mahdists off guard, and it was resulting in a quite decisive victory for the British. The Battle of Abu Klea stands as a testament to the adaptability and ingenuity of military commanders when faced with unconventional challenges. Our next one takes us back to the 15th century, and it's the Hussite war wagons. Now, during the Hussite wars in medieval Bohemia, Jan Zivka, I think that's how you pronounce it, was a brilliant military tactician, devised a novel approach to cavalry charges by using war wagons. These were massive fortified carts equipped with cannon and crossbow, and served as basically mobile fortresses for the Hussite forces against armed knights and infantry. Now, in a series of battles against the Holy Roman Empire, Zivka orchestrated daring charges with his war wagons, and they sowed chaos and terror amongst the enemy ranks. Now, the sight of these lumbering behemoths thundering across the battlefield defied traditional notions of cavalry charges, yet they proved devastatingly effective in securing victory for the Hussite cause. Now, our next one is the Australian Light Horse charge at Beersheba in 1917. Now, this was during the First World War, amidst the trenches and barbed wire of the Western Front. The Australian Light Horse achieved a remarkable victory at the Battle of Beersheba in the Middle Eastern theatre. They were facing entrenched Ottoman defences and daunting odds. Now, the Light Horse executed a really quite bold cavalry charge against Turkish positions. Now, mounted on horseback and armed with rifles and bayonet, the Australian troops galloped across open ground under heavy fire, braving artillery and machine gun fire. In a dramatic climax, they stormed the Turkish defences and seized the crucial wells of Beersheba, securing a pivotal victory for the Allies in the Middle East. The fact that they charged against machine guns is a testament to their bravery. Now, history's strangest cavalry charges bear testament to the ingenuity and audacity and adaptability of military commanders and their troops in the face of adversity. Everything from miscommunication and unconventional tactics to bold innovations and just sheer determination. These charges tend to defy conventional expectations and tend to leave a lasting impression on the pages of history. They remind us that in the chaos and uncertainty of war, bravery tends to know no bounds, and the courage of those who charge into the fray, whether on horseback, camel, or war wagon, endures as a testament to the human spirit. On most of these charges, they were charging into things like machine guns, artillery, in an age where cavalry charges were effectively becoming obsolete, and by the First World War they pretty much were obsolete. I mean, you're charging a position which is using machine guns at post nests every so many meters, and in between those meters are men in trenches armed with bolt action rifles. I mean, to charge modern was effectively pretty modern weaponry on horseback. You've got to be either brave or insane, and probably a mixture of both at that stage. The charge of the light brigade, I mean, they were charging the Russian guns, and they were under fire from those Russian artillery for most of that charge, and it was just sheer audacity that they managed to take the guns. I mean, it was just, you think about it, and it's an incredible achievement, and that was just because of miscommunication. Nowadays, the cavalry is effectively being switched into tanks and armoured vehicles and stuff like that, and long gone are the days of people being on horse charging down troops. And I think the last time a cavalry charge was used may have been during World War II, if not World War One. It was either World War One or World War II, or one of the conflicts in between, because by then weaponry had become too far advanced that they made cavalry charges obsolete. A cavalry charge was just getting, effectively, there were more casualties from charging headlong into machine gun and rifle fire, which made them obsolete. They were just they didn't and couldn't achieve their purpose. They become a thing of the past. But they're always something that inspires that notion of heroic bravery. So I always like, when I'm wargaming, to use cavalry, because I think for thousands of years they were an important unit on the battlefield. Anyway, that's all for this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you next time.